Welcome to my channel, guys. This is my second channel, and on this I'll be covering 3D printing design using Fusion 360 and different method in getting it done. I'm by no far professional, but I will be going through different models and how I accomplish designing them and so forth. In going forward in this, my first thing I'll be covering that I've been working on is a housing for Xbox 360. So this housing is mostly for RGH Xbox, where you don't really need your CD-ROM drive. So basically, I'm designing a case to basically turn the Xbox 360 into a digital model. So let's take a look at the case I've designed so far. All right, so this basically is a complete design that I did where you can choose late on the side if if you don't want to use the stand and everything. You'll still have access to your sync button and your front USB panel. One thing though, if you're gonna be doing this mod, one thing you will need is a USB wireless adapter, unless you use your Ethernet cable. But with this case, you will lose access to your wireless internet, so you'd have to go out wire. And so far, I've managed to source one of those USB wireless adapter, which it will connect to the back through Bagnet, because I've redone that housing for that also. So we're just gonna go over this case. So let's remove the side panel. So we can see there are the standoffs for the motherboard and there are the vents on the side. Now these vents look closed, but they're not. They're actually there. So, there's an opening there. The reason why I designed it like this because after you print the case and you look through the vent, you don't want to be looking at, the motherboard and everything, all that great motherboard and everything. With it through to the side, you can see that you can get a lot of your flow through this also. Like that's still valid. Um, in the back here, we can see this back panel is going to be held on by M3 screws. Like this old case is designed to use M3 screws of different sizes. So if I remove here, you can see you have the sync button. Your power button will go here along with the ribbon cable. And this section is for the USB. Now, this section can be modified. If you're not going to use a USB extender, it can be modified where it's used the original spring from the flap, so you can push open this section and have access to your USB. Because I'm using a USB extender on the original board, which I'll show. Um, I designed this not to be basically flopped open and everything. Um, with the sync button, I've designed this sync button to, accommodate a LED light. So the light will be basically you push in there and then you put the back on, and this section is just basically two different color filament, white and the original red, and everything will line up just right for the back panel and everything. All right, so let's go with the side panel here. So with the side panel here, it comes in two section, and then I'm going to explain why it's like that. So if I remove the fan cover, The front cover is separate because in printing this section, you'll need somewhere to put the tower for color changing, which I designated for in this circle, which I'll show you how the file looks in the slicer. So this section will hold the print tower where to get a different color. And you might be saying that, why do I just want to print this on the side? Well, this section will light up whenever time the Xbox turns on. So basically, I created a light box under the housing itself. So if I should go and remove the case on all of this section right here, and if I should flip this over, see there's a light box, and this section is where the power cable will come out to power the LED that's going to be inside of this case right here. Now, how I came up with this design, um, well, it's a long procedure because I had to source other Xboxes because I didn't want to disassemble my Xbox and use it as a stencil. So I, went out and I bought an Xbox and disassemble it and also get the network adapter also, disassemble that also. And I will be showing basically what I did. So this is basically the first step in creating the case. So I got the motherboard, do a markout and a Bristol board, get my rulers and everything, my caliper, make sure that all the screws line up the way it should. And also what I did, I make sure that you have access to the USB and everything else that you normally have access to, which works out pretty good. So in my first version, the whole I basically have this section for the power button, but there was a panel that goes on the outside that would basically screw in to hold the power button in. But then, you know, I went through a couple reviews, I think I did probably like 5 to 7 different prints just to get everything right and everything. And in doing so, I came up with this. So I decided that, hey, I'm gonna make it available to assemble. But then, I have different thoughts and everything because it becomes too complicated to print in so many different parts because, I keep wasting filament. So I decided that, what if I print one solid case and have a back plate that mounts everything on. So rather than have it like, the front plate glued on along with your sync button and everything, I decided that, I will just make it like, all one side object. So basically, this is how it would actually operate. So you can still have access to the button and everything. You still see the light and everything. Turns on. And you can see in the background I have different iteration of this case. So with the light box, when you turn it on, you'll get your Xbox 360, and everything is powered by the power cable from the CD drives, meaning that you won't be needing the disk drive, so use that as a power button. Um, Going forward, so this was one of the other version that I did. We have everything set at the back, this is before the final version. He used the original tray for the hard drive. Everything else fit in. Actually, I have to cut the head off for the hard drive section so it can actually fit perfectly in. And this section is actually on the case itself instead of being disassembled. And going forward with that design, I did a final print. I wanted it in kind of a marble red, because I do have a Gears of War controller, which I want everything to actually match. And so far, the print came out really good. Managed to get the same indent as how the power button would normally have on the original case. And this is the final print. Came out really good and solid. And I will show a few pictures of the finished product and how everything comes together. And you know, pictures was pretty good. Get the nice red and black specs in it. Nice marble finish. This print took around 14 hours to do. My printer is plugged into a USB, so I'm not to worry about power cut and everything like that. So yeah, things turned out pretty good for this case, and I'm really proud of it. So I will share a few videos of the complete print, so you have an idea, and how this section goes. Because our next 10 are used for the motherboard for the USB. Basically, you'll end up with USB-C at the front instead of the original USB-A. And that's it for there. And I'll just go in and show you a few more videos of the finished product. All right, and just on a small note, before I almost forgot about this section I was going to show. So I'm using Bumble Labs P1S. So in order to get everything situated properly, especially in doing the side panel, so I have to put the print tower in the center right there. That's the reason why I printed the fangirl separate. The fangirl will just fit right in this section, this little groove right here. So this section will be, I think I'll be using 8mm COD light strip, and basically we'll have this basically lighting up once the Xbox is turned on. And yeah, that's about it for this section right here. So this is the case before everything goes in it. I will be doing a separate video when everything is all assembled and I've turned it on and everything, which is, case looks pretty good. And there's a stand, so you can have it upright. And as for the network adapter, so I took it to the original case. I think I may reprint the case in this color. And here we have the magnetic section. So with this being said, that will be fitted on the back right up here. So it'll be something similar to this. And then the USB will plug into there, and you'll have network connection and everything. So the only thing that you'll be compromising for this in this case is your disk drive. You still have your front USB. Go right there. And what I think I'll do, I'll just test fit one of the motherboard in it and let you see exactly how this turns out. So this is the case with everything assembled. So I haven't put the hard drive in, but we have the front shroud and everything, and I've connected the wireless right there. And if you go around to the front, you can see that you still have your power button, and you have access to your sync button, and basically the front USB port, which I end up making those USB-C. And I will basically show everything goes right there. So right now, if I should power on, you can see everything here still work. So I haven't done the LED for the sync button as yet. You can see, so basically, let me turn this TV on so you can see exactly what's happening here. Okay. You can see everything seems to be working, and as I say, you still have access to your sync button. So if I should press the sync button, you can see that you still have access to that. Okay, so as regarding the network, so you can see the network adapter does work. So you still have wireless access with the use of this. So far. So as for the USB, front USB section, so let's there the cell. So you can see I have a USB A to C adapter right there. So that will allow access to the USB port. And all of these will be mounted. So if I end up removing here, this is where the hard drive card will be, mounted down, and this here is the disk drive cable. So far I jump right to let it think that it's closed, and there are other pins here that are like 3 volts and so forth, which I am going to use for the LED section for the button. And it is it so far. So once everything is all done and finish up, I will create another video with the final version, with everything working, with the lights and everything, and yep, we'll see. So do like and subscribe to stay tuned for further updates, and have a good one.